Welcome into NBA Now by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Senior. Give me a follow on Twitter and Instagram at Chase_Senior. I made it easy for all of you. It's the same handle on both. So if I don't answer your NBA-related questions on today's mailbag, slide in my DMs and I'll be sure to answer those questions coming up. Love interacting with all of you and talking hoops. Let's continue to chop it up. Give me a follow on Twitter at Chase_Senior so we can talk some ball. Trying to get to 3,900 followers right now, 3,840. We're getting closer and closer. I'll give you some shout outs later if you hit me with that follow on Twitter and IG. Let's kick off this mailbag with this question from the real Chase Senior. So it turns out I am the fake Chase Senior. Okay, maybe it's a burner account as well. My celebrity status is growing so much that I have burner accounts out there. Might as well call me Tom Downey, right? What should the Warriors do with their 2 lottery picks, #Dubs, #NBA? So the Warriors have picks number 7 and number 14. 2 lottery picks. That number 7 pick coming over from the Minnesota Timberwolves thanks to that D'Angelo Russell, Andrew Wiggins trade. It was a top 3 protected pick from the T-Wolves. And look, I don't know what the Warriors are going to do because they're in an interesting predicament here. They have a win-now roster with Klay Thompson coming back. And do you want to use 2 draft picks and bring in 2 rookies who really might not be able to contribute right from the jump in year 1? Another option for the Warriors, you package 2 of those picks, you send away number 7 and number 14 to lure in a superstar player across the NBA like a Bradley Beal, a Kawhi Leonard, a Damian Lillard, maybe even a CJ McCollum, a Malcolm Brogdon. There are a lot of players out there potentially available via trade if you package picks number 7 and 14. Now, for some of the superstar top-tier players, you might have to include an Andrew Wiggins in that deal, maybe even a James Wiseman. I think that is what the Warriors are thinking right now. They're kind of evaluating all of their options leading into the draft later this month. So shout out your favorite team and let us know who you want your favorite team to draft. Get those votes in the comment section and start flooding the chat. Let us know your favorite team and who you want them to draft. Let's move on to this question from Timothy O'Toole. What is the Celtics' next move? I think they have to find a point guard, or at least think about what they want to do at the point guard spot. Traded away Kemba Walker. They brought back Moses Brown and Al Horford in that deal. In that deal, they also traded away their first-round pick to OKC as Sam Presti continues to collect a bunch of draft assets. If I'm the Celtics, you need to figure out the point guard spot because I don't think Marcus Smart, Peyton Pritchard, the 2 remaining point guard options currently on the roster, are realistic starting options when you have a roster that I think is ready to win right now, highlighted by Jaylen Brown as well as Jason Tatum. So I'm looking at the point guard market. They might have to free up money to bring in a guy like Kyle Lowry or maybe even Mike Conley. Do they elect to go after a dude like Dennis Schroeder who's going to cost a lot of money? Got to figure out the point guard spot. And in addition to that, got to figure out center too. Do they address that through free agency with a cheap option? Maybe. Robert Williams was just okay. Had some good spots, no doubt, after that trade of Daniel Tice. But point guard and big, those are the 2 areas of need that the Celtics need to address. Marquis Robertson with this question coming in. Chase Senior, Marquis Robertson. Do you see the Lakers trading for Kevin Love? Maybe. Kevin Love would have to negotiate a buyout with Cleveland, and his salary would get spread out over, I think, 5 years to kind of absorb that astronomically high salary. And as we know, LeBron James, he really likes veteran players. He has a previous relationship with Kevin Love. They have some Olympic ties. They played together in Cleveland, of course, and helped bring the Larry O.B. to Cleveland, winning that championship over the Golden State Warriors. This past year, Kevin Love, he only played in a limited amount of games, 12.2 points per game, 7.5 rebounds. I think he can still be a very good player. He's not going to be an elite player, a very good one. Maybe he's an option for the Lakers. You look at their front court situation, and they could use a player who can space the floor, who has championship experience, who has played with LeBron and knows him well, so possibly. Superman291 chiming in with this question. Norman Powell to Dallas. Yeah, I think he has a player option with the Portland Trailblazers, and before he got traded from the Raptors to the Blazers, Norman Powell was putting up stupid numbers. And if you followed his development throughout his career, it's been pretty impressive. And last year, he had a career season good timing because if he does hit the free agent market, he's going to get paid. 18.5 points per game. He shot a little less than 48% from the deck. This is a guy who can pour it up, he can score it up, and can be a go-to scoring option as a secondary or third player. You put him alongside Luka Doncic. I don't think the fit there is terrible. But for Dallas, you got to free yourself of that Kristaps deal. And are there better options out there who better complement Luka Doncic? I think so. PipeBomb SD with this question. James Wiseman and 7 for Jerami Grant and Josh Jackson. I think that's too much to give up for Jerami Grant. Grant had a good season. And like Norman Powell, his development has been really good. And Jerami Grant, up until Julius Randle started playing at an MVP-like level late in the season last year, I thought he was going to win the NBA Most Improved Player. There was a time when he was averaging like 26, 27 points per game. Understandably, he was playing on a really bad Pistons team, and he was getting a bulk of the shot opportunities. But still, you saw glimpses of him becoming a very solid player 2 seasons ago with the Denver Nuggets, and that kind of fully came to fruition with the Pistons last year. I just think Wiseman and number 7 for Jerami Grant, who, let's be honest, is somewhat of a tweener, is a little bit too steep of a price to pay for a player of that caliber. Hey, yo, we got a super chat coming in from 4 Hour The Love of the Game podcast. NBA, Knicks need to sign Lonzo and trade for Jonathan Isaac. Those two alongside Mitchell Robinson, RJ Barrett, and Randall would be a scary young team. I think the Knicks are going to be one of the most aggressive teams in the trade market as well as in NBA free agency because I think they're only a player, maybe 2 away, and we're talking elite players, from being a problem, an absolute problem in the Eastern Conference. Can they package some of those picks that they have over the next couple of years? And honestly, you might have to put RJ Barrett in a deal like that to bring in a Bradley Beal type or a Damian Lillard type if he, one of those 2 players, decides to demand a trade. If not, I think if you keep some of those young pieces and you sign a Kyle Lowry, that still puts the Knicks in the running for maybe a top 3, top 4 team in the Eastern Conference. And of course, you know, they were the 4 seed in the playoffs this year, but that was somewhat flawed. Knicks are going to be very active, led by Leon Rose, who I think is a good general manager. They're finally in a good spot with a lot of potential. They got the Thibodeau hire right. I'm interested to see what the Knicks do. Yo, ballers, give me a follow on Twitter at Chase_Senior. Trying to get to 3,900 followers. Give me a follow on today's show. I'll be sure to give you a shout out. The link for my Twitter account, as well as my Instagram account, Facebook page, is in the description of this video. But give me a follow on Twitter at Chase_Senior. Slide in my DMs. I'll take any and all questions, even if they're life-related questions as well. Let's chop it up. The Rainbow Cow, who is winning NBA Finals MVP? It's a very good question. I hope that Chris Paul wins it because it'll do so much for his legacy. Can you just imagine what will happen if Chris Paul wins the NBA Finals MVP and an NBA championship? It puts him in that top 5 point guards of all time list alongside Magic Johnson and Isaiah Thomas. Steve Nash also in that category as well. John Stockton might be on the outside looking into that top 5 category. Oscar Robertson really good as well. But this postseason has done so much for Chris Paul's legacy. I hope he wins NBA Finals MVP because he certainly deserves a lot of that recognition, praise, and respect. Vienimus, who is better, Kevin Durant or Giannis? It's not even close. It's Kevin Durant. I don't even have to spend much time on this question because that is not a debate that we should be having in 2021. I know some people were talking about this maybe last year, the year before. Kevin Durant is one of the best all-around players of all time. He has really entered the potential category of being a top 10 player ever because we've never seen a player of his athletic makeup. An almost 7-footer who's a walking bucket, can get his own shot, create, can pass, can defend at an all-NBA caliber level. He's much better than Giannis. That's not even a debate anymore. Anish Anand, which team is better, healthy Warriors or healthy Nets? Really good question. Are we talking Warriors from 2015 to 2019 because I'd probably take him, and that also takes Kevin Durant off the Nets. Are we talking going into next year, the 2021-2022 season? If that is the case, I would probably lean Golden State. I think they're the better all-around team. I think they have that playoff experience. I can't always count on Kyrie because he's somewhat flaky. Is James Harden going to show up 20 pounds overweight because he was too busy hitting the strip club? You never know what's going through James Harden's mind, so give me the Warriors. Kunta Kenta Jr. Who do you think will win MVP next season? #NBA. There are a lot of really good options. Of course, you're going to throw out guys like Kevin Durant, Nikola Jokic, but other players who you're looking at who don't have MVPs yet. How about Damian Lillard? How about Jason Tatum? Steph Curry could potentially win yet another MVP. You can make the argument he should have won this past season. Luka Doncic has not yet won an MVP either early on in his career. He's due to win an MVP at some point, which will do a lot for his legacy as well. So there are some wild card options and some guys who haven't yet won MVP outside of some of those guys who already have. Speaking of that, who do you think will win the MVP next year in the NBA, the 2021-2022 season? Get those votes in and those names in the comment section down below. Yo, another super chat. Appreciate you, John Demetro. If CP3 opts out and the Suns sign a free agent, can they re-sign CP3 after? They're not going to have a lot of cap space. They're not going to have a lot of wiggle room financially to go after a big ticket free agent. But do the Suns need to? No. This is a team that has an elite starting five with the growth and the improvement of Devin Booker. DeAndre Ayton, he's one of the best big men in the league right now, especially in the year of 2021 as that position has changed. I don't think the Suns really need all that much, and it's unfortunate that Dario Saric tore his ACL. That news coming down on Wednesday. He's obviously going to be out for the remainder of the NBA Finals as well as next season as well. I think really in the NBA draft, the Suns just need to bulk up the backup spot behind DeAndre Ayton because Frank Kaminsky just ain't it. Maybe they can address that in free agency or the draft. But yeah, you bring back CP3, he's going to make around $40 million probably over the next 3-4 years. You're just not going to have a lot of money to spend. Dom Towney, and I'm looking at Tom Downey right here to my left. DeRozan to ATL, will they keep Collins? The Atlanta Hawks do not need DeMar DeRozan. He's a limited player. He can't shoot threes. I still think he has some gas left in the tank as a very good scoring guard, but he doesn't shoot threes, and I think that prohibits offenses, and I think that's a reason why the Raptors fell short in the playoffs all those years is because teams could just back off of him. I think the Atlanta Hawks should keep John Collins. Now, if they don't, there are some other players out there who they could target who might be a little bit cheaper to continue to build around Trae Young, but if I'm Travis Schlenk, if I'm Nate McMillan, and I'm looking at the Hawks from a bird's eye view, and I want to continue to build this franchise, I'm bringing back some of the core pieces that helped us go to a surprise appearance in the Eastern Conference Finals, and I'm bringing back John Collins. Yes, Trae Young is going to demand a lot of money, but there is still some money to spend if you're the Atlanta Hawks, and John Collins would be a good option. Make sure you're subscribed to Chat Sports and let this be your off-season hub for everything going on across the NBA. We're bringing you the latest NBA news and rumors, the latest free agency rumors, signings, any trades that happen. We're continuing to cover the NBA Finals as well, and we're trying to get to 250,000 subscribers. Someday, we want to get to 1 million, but right now our goal, 250,000. So hit that red subscribe button down below or go to youtube.com/chatsportstv.